almost ever. So I just have to kill him. So I just want to put as many bombs in as often as I can. And it seems like that may have to be the game plan. So we're going to get into it. I would say Rase is a slight favorite, but with bombs, you never quite know, Dan. I've been waiting for the moment where a player just shuffles 4 bombs in earlier and wins the game on turn 6. Because bomb, 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 bomb. But it hasn't happened yet, but we have a lot of sample size for Grandmasters over the course of this weekend, with 10 out of our 16 matches being Bomb Warrior mirrors. So if there's ever going to be a chance for us to see it, it's in the next 3 days.
Yes. All right, well, seems like early on, nothing really too much of consequence. Just going to be some early jock position for board. Clockwork Gnomes versus Militia Commanders versus Dynamatics. And the cycle continues. Nalguidan has opportunity to get this Acolyte of Pain out. Looks like he's not afraid of the draw. He is aggressive with the draw.
Well, he's the one that kind of has to be the aggressor. That's the that's what we talked about. So I don't think it's too big of a surprise. He knows that, hey, I'm not going to win a fatigue, so I might as well just draw as many cards as possible to try and have as many options and as many options to play aggressive. Get the
Dr. Boom Mad Genius a little quicker. Hope that Rase is a little too slow on the gun. Out-tempo your opponent. And there also are ways to mess up the Elysiana. You know, Elysiana doesn't do anything immediately to the board. So if you're able to set up a very powerful, a lot of attack on the board against your opponent, they might not feel comfortable playing Elysiana because then they take big damage on the backswing, and then they'll be in danger of dying for the rest of the game. Nalguidan able to bump and draw. Being one of the only America's players to be able to go to back-to-back championships, if you count the summer of 2017 into the summer of 2018.
Yeah, it's weird. They were both summer championships, but they were both the first of the year. It's kind of weird.
It was the last and the first.
Last and the first.
Yeah. So Nalguidan having a lot of points, a lot of a very good record in the playoffs for HCT. And what's impressive is that he does it without actually traveling to tour stops and gathering his points that way. He was like a university student studying architecture, going through all the motions and whatnot.
Yeah. Very difficult for players from South America to travel to pretty much any tour stop.
That's fair, yeah.
The few tour stops that happened in South America were tour stops where you had to qualify online. You got your travel paid for anyway. The Copa Americas that took place last year. They're just very far away from pretty much the entirety of the rest of the world. So.
Yeah, well, now Nalguidan, look to see how much he prioritizes tempo on the board, that he's playing the Omega Devastator without its battle cry. That's just a mechanical Yeti.
Defend the gates.
That's a dead mechanical Yeti.
Well, it's not quite a mechanical Yeti, Dan. Mechanical Yeti had some spare parts to it as well.
That's fair.
I missed that card.
You know, in general, like mechs, there are some really nice mechs throughout the over the years.
Spare parts in general. I guess lackeys are kind of the modern spare parts.
It's a lot better than spare parts.
They're a lot better than spare parts. But spare parts did have Rusty Horn was one of my favorite cards.
You can give a minion +1 attack, or for the same mana cost, you can have an extra 1/1 body and give that +1 attack rush.
Yes,
it's like there's a worlds of difference.
Yeah.
That being said,
you can give
awesome.
You can give a minion taunt, or you can summon a 1/1 that summons another minion that has taunt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's quite a big difference. But as you mentioned earlier, Dan, we live in a different world now. Dr. Boom back in the day, 7 mana, summon 2 boom bots. Dr. Boom in the modern world of Hearthstone, 7 mana, potentially summon 6 boom bots. Sometimes I miss the simpler times.
Definitely were a lot. It was definitely a lot more straightforward than what we have currently with some of the weird nuances of these intricate decks like Mech-Cthulhu, Bomb Warrior. Nalguidan gets his Wrench Caliber taken out and sniped by the Acidic Swampoos. That's something that he expected anyways. Still not going to take away from the fact that he's trying to pressure as best he can, but Rase has got the answers. And this is something similar that we saw to with RDU versus Swids earlier in the Europe Grandmasters. When one warrior has to play really aggressively, they're playing directly into the hand of the other warrior most of the time. And that ends up just becoming a very fruitless effort. However, that's the primary way to win. So even though it might look like Nalguidan is coming up short by, you know, a mile and a half, I think he's definitely at least trying to do the right thing here.
It's his only plan.
Yeah. Now Rase, evaluating if he wants to do anything besides the Shield Slam. I don't think it's worth playing Dynamatic for tempo. There's still a handful of minions you can snipe. In fact, both of them are in Nalguidan's hand. Blastmaster, boom. 2 bombs are shuffled in. A Shield Slam was used. Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. 4 boom bots plus a 7/7 on an empty board.
Hey, look at that timing.
And that's what you want. You want those to kind of be sprinkled in throughout the game because also Archivist Elysiana, because it replaces your deck, it kind of ruins your chance to go for late game bomb plans because it destroys the bombs because it replaces your deck with the cards that you discover. So having those bombs kind of sprinkled in throughout the game just give you that life total advantage that you absolutely need when you're in Nalguidan shoes and you're playing against a deck that will beat you in those fatigue style matchups. And no Dr. Boom's on 7. Except for the minion one. No,
yeah, Blast
no Mad Genius.
No Mad Geniuses. Rase going for the extra minion in the brawl. The tussle. If he gets us to turn it over, it is massive. Oh, last one. It was the last one out.
Yeah, but still going to take 3 damage worth of, or 5 damage rather, worth of Boombot damage to his face.
Okay, Augmented Elic just gives Nalguidan more ammo for bomb reloads. Nothing too substantial here. Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, 1 card off from being able to be played this turn. Kind of wonder if Nalguidan wants to just play things for tempo in this case. Augmented Elic is more power than Militia Commander, totally understandable. It does open stuff up to these Dynamatics, though.
Job done.
I think with Mad Genius, maybe you can just use that to climb ahead in tempo for a while, which is perfectly fine. It's the small things too. You don't expect like the microbots to be that imposing, but it just adds up over time. Microbots, an extra delivery drone, dealing 3 damage to remove efficiently, everything having a rush.
Having an easy target for magnetic.
Right.
I'm so
Rase not happy to see that.
Yep.
It's 2019 and playing Dr. Boom is still equally terrorizing. In fact, Nalguidan's played both of his moves. Trades across the board.
Yeah, that one,
Not a fan?
I think you trade in the Boombot first in the Dynamatic, because if you get the option to keep the 3/3s on board, yes, you push less damage.
Right.
Potentially.
But you keep more damage on the board.
But you keep more damage on the board and force your opponents to react. I don't know if having 3 1/1s is worth it in that case, but...
It gives you a magnetic target.
It does give
he
you
has
a magnetic
delivery
target.
drones. So let's say he picks up a big magnetic minion like War Gear.
Yep. He didn't know that he would have delivery drone, though. That's
fair. And
So-
also, he still has rush on those minions anyways. But it's nice to combine them and magnetize it, even if it's just +1/+1.
Yeah. Even if you can push extra face damage that way, which makes up for the damage that you would have left on the board from the bomb. So I kind of like the other way around there, instead of fully trading like that. Trying to leave a minion on board.
Caliber. Augmented Elic already went down, but now Nalguidan can discover
What's in the box?
Mega Devastator.
Yeah. Don't think there's too much of an option with that draw from delivery drone.
Yes. Should be fine. Nalguidan going for the max damage. Shuffling yet another bomb. So that's bomb number 3.
Well, he drew 1, so I think there's still 2 bombs. Because he shuffled in 2, then he played Blastmaster Boom for 4 bombs. Then a bomb was drawn the very next turn. I'm pretty sure the only bomb card he's played since then has been the 1 swing of the Wrench Caliber. He did play an augmented Elec, but nothing alongside of it. So I believe there's now 2 bombs in the deck.
Yeah, I don't even know if Rase has shuffled a bomb into Nalguidan's deck either.
He played a Clockwork Goblin last turn.
Okay, so he has 1 bomb.
Yes.
And so his Blastmaster Boom is not going to be able to do that much. It's just a regular Dr. Boom. His best play for the tempo is to combine something with Ziliax here.
I could play Clockwork Goblin and then play Blastmaster Boom.
It's reasonable.
So then he'd have 2 bombs, so he'd have 4 boom bots. So he'd have the Blastmaster Boom plus 4 boom bots plus Clockwork Goblin.
Yeah, but then
they don't have Rush, so that's like the he has not played Dr. Boom Mad Genius, so it would just that would be his board. No additional interaction allowed.
Right. Funny enough, by playing this weapons project and destroying the Excalibur, it gives Nalguidan what he wants to do, which is play Hearthstone Gun and draw more cards to get more fuel to pressure his opponent. No kill on the Omega Devastator. He does know that this Omega Devastator is from the Omega Assembly.
And Nalguidan in his main deck, unlike Muzzy and Frozen, does have 2 natural copies of Omega Devastator. He did play one for tempo earlier on in the game.
That belongs in a
probably need to move the mouse away from hovering over the weapons. I mean, the Gear Blade animation is great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's fantastic. It is brimming with fell energy. Where's the fell? No, it is brimming with
arcane energy.
Arcane energy.
Boom.
It's from the
lore masters Frodan and TJ.
It's from the Storm, right?
The Storm.
Yeah. Wherever Dr. Boom, because this is from the Boom.
Netherstorm.
Netherstorm.
That's
yes.
right.
In case it hasn't been made clear, please observer move the mouse away from the weapon. Sir, please step away from the Gear Blade. Keep your hands up.
And nobody will get hurt.
Warpath to help clear off some of the minions.
At this point, I feel like they're doing it out of spite.
They're just trolling us because the Gear Blade keeps popping up and reminding us how glorious its spinny animation is.
Saved.
They did it.
Saved.
Seaphoria Bomber.
Yeah, only 1 copy in the main deck for Nalguidan.
I don't mind it, you know? I just want more damage.
Yeah, it's a 5/5 also. So that's can be tough to remove. The problem is it's not a mech.
Right.
So it lines up perfectly into Dynomatic.
Exploded.
I'm pretty sure if Sephorian Bomber was a mech, this deck would be insane. Not that it's not already insane yet. I don't want to discriminate against Bomber. It's an insane deck.
It's still very good. And what's funny is that people were making fun of it for a long time. I mean, people were saying that Bomb Warrior was just like the bad version of Control Warrior. Now Bomb Warrior is almost exclusively played here at the Grandmasters.
Yeah. There's 2 Control Warriors in Europe, I believe. One of those was already who did take a win against Bomb Warrior.
I mean, there's 22 Warriors this weekend. 20 of them are Bomb Warrior.
Yeah. And more than half of those are in the Americas region.
This
More than that, almost all of them are in the Americas region.
Yeah, and then 8 in
Europe. Oh, I may have miscounted. It's not.
Yeah, because there's more than 1 in Asia Pacific.
Yeah, there's 3 in Asia, so it's
24. Yeah. With 22 of them being Bomb Warrior?
That might have been the no. That was the statistic I was recalling. It was 22 Bomb Warrior.
Because the 3 in Asia Pacific are all Bomb Warrior. The 13 in Americas are all Bomb Warrior.
Yep.
And then the
8 in Europe.
8 in Europe, 6 are Bomb Warrior, 2 are Control Warrior.
You are correct. Rase picks up the Omega Assembly.
What now?
He's been holding on to things like this Clockwork Goblin and the Ziliax for a while because he has an opportunity to swing for more health, right? Clockwork Goblin and Ziliax is 6 life guaranteed if you rush into a minion. He can double up on that and maybe get 12. Either way, he's healing for 3 by playing it this turn.
Somebody order a bomb.
Looks like he's going for it.
Precision.
He says, I don't really have much better plays, and I'm holding on to this Omega Assembly.
Yeah, the big problem for Rase right now is just he hasn't drawn Dr. Boom Mad Genius yet. Nalguidan had it relatively early. He played it on turn 9.
Boom Reaver, how good is that?
I mean, Boom Reaver is always pretty decent because it has Rush itself because of Dr. Boom, and then whatever it summons has Rush. There's not that many big minions left in Nalguidan's deck. You can pull out a Mega Devastator, you can pull out a Clockwork Mill, Augmented Delic.
Then.
Yeah, I think not having the Dr. Boom Rush makes a big difference because it seems like Rase was playing this Clockwork Goblin as a setup to the Blastmaster Boom. But Blastmaster Boom, part of the power is be able to rush into minions with the Boom Bots. Nalguidan chipping away. Having a firm lead in life.
But it doesn't matter unless he sticks that damage. That's the problem.
Pretty mediocre stuff here from Rase.
Well. The Coppertail can guarantee a magnetic target for the following turn because of stealth.
Oh, that's true. So you can Coppertail, you can magnetize it, and then play the Brilliant Nullifier.
Oh, whoa. Woo. Now we're talking. If only that faithful Lumi was a vicious scrap pound, then he could start piling on some armor.
That'd be pretty sick.
Well, he couldn't get all those together because 2 of those don't have magnetic.
Pain, speak to me.
Because the scrap pound doesn't have magnetic. Neither does the Coppertail.
Oh, one of the bombs being picked up. That's actually not good for Rase, who's setting up the Blastmaster Boom. Nalguidan picks up his own Clockwork Goblin. I believe that would be his second one.
Yes.
Boom Reaver. Nalguidan can pull pretty much anything and have it rush into the Acolyte. I mean, maybe he pulls a second Acolyte. Trades into it. He's almost fatigued. He's almost at fatigue. So something to consider for Nalguidan is how much time does he have to play the Boom Reaver before he just loses any semblance of value.
Yeah, he needs to pile. He needs to find some way to pressure.
I feel like he has not that many good minions left in his deck. He might have...
He has 1 Omega
This is
Devastator,
Mega Devastator.
time for a
Augmented
master
Elic,
plan.
an Acolyte of... Oh no, he only has 1 copy of Acolyte of Pain. He's
Oh,
already
okay.
played
That
it.
explains it.
Um,
And he has decent-sized minions.
I think he also has Town Crier though.
Maybe Nalguidan wants to draw more to see what he's guaranteed for the Boom Reaver. Then he doesn't have the opportunity to capitalize on the
Dynamatic's not too bad. As we talked about throughout the broadcast today, Dynamatic can be tough to use against Warrior because there's not that many cards. As you get to the late game that Warrior plays that aren't max. Finally,
Boom Mad
geez.
Genius. It's a good pickup.
It is a good pickup, but honestly, it's tough to play this turn. Because then he just takes the 7 from Boom Reaver. But honestly, he does have a decent way to deal with...
He could pick up a hero power also. That's really nice.
Yeah.
If he picks up
What
the
now?
plus the 3 damage, then he can kill off the Boom Reaver. If he picks up the Kaboom to deal 1 damage to everything, he clears off a good portion of the minions and the pressure. I think Dr. Boom gives him a decent amount of options. And also, the Blast Shield is just nice to double up and make it.
Yeah, but he did have a good... So if he played... So let's say he plays Replicating Menace, Magnetize onto the Coppertail, Warpats 3 times, then trades in the Coppertail to the Boom Stick because he has 3 1/1s, and Nalguidan's board is clear.
Oh, I love that fuse.
Yeah, but you don't get to play Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
But then you're going into an empty turn. You know your opponent's light on threats.
I think this is overall better for his future game plan.
Okay.
Because it gives him more chances to respond.
All right.
He's also had a comfortable life to like, yes, Warrior is scary if they can have that board, but if you're at 30, I still don't even fear a power of like 10. From
I was just
Warrior.
saying, Dan. I was just talking about it. You don't kind of get all defensive on me.
I'm sorry, TJ.
I'm just trying to look at all the options here.
No, it's definitely a...
I liked my play. I thought it was a good play.
I thought it wasn't bad. I think that I favor Race's play a little bit more.
No, I get it. I get it.
Me and Race are very close. Me and you. I barely know you, TJ.
I know, right? Just the
Me and Rase go way back all the way to the legendaries. Here.
just the 3,000 plus hours of broadcast we've had together.
Sure.
That's not enough for you?
Nalguidan picks up Shield Block. He doesn't really have many cards left in the deck. I'm not purposely ignoring ETB, but I kind of
Okay,
No, we got to move
then.
on. I'll move on.
am. Will you, though?
Yeah, Race's play was better. We can just call it at that. I'll just seethe for the remaining 14 hours we have of this broadcast left.
Yes, with weeping and gnashing of teeth. Nalguidan picks up the Shield Block. I think he's just going to reach as far as he
Okay,
can through his
then.
deck. Honestly, he probably is just looking for the Augmented Elic and just wants to go off. I think this turn he zero powers and plays a Militia Commander. Might even be credibility to not play Militia
love that
Commander
fuse thing.
instead.
Yeah, the problem is if Nalguidan goes for one big turn where he shovels a bunch of bombs, Race can just play Archivist Elysiana. Even if he destroys a few cards in his deck, he has the important ones, and just surviving is all he needs. Even if he plays Archivist Elysiana this turn, he's still 8 cards ahead in that fatigue race, and knows that Nalguidan has no way to offset that.
Right.
But,
Man, even ways to add insult to injury
yeah,
with like a weaponized Pinata, Beryllium Nullifier, Bulldoze. These are some high quality minions that you can discover off of this.
This would be a good
yeah.
time for a
Nalguidan's,
master plan.
I think, main win condition here has to be just picking up a Mechathune.
That does change a lot. He does have the weapon project and the Shield Slam and Brawl as opportunities to help clear that Mechathune. Race is in a good spot no matter what he does. Gonna clear off the Militia Commander. He's gonna try to take as least amount of damage as possible in case Nalguidan goes for these crazy bomb combos. And there is like a weird chance, right, that Race draws all the bombs in a row and dies. It's a very low chance, but it's a chance nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't think he can even get 6 bombs in the deck. That's the problem.
Right, because he doesn't have other bomb planters besides Clockwork Goblin.
Yeah. And if he shuffles 4 and only, let's say, 1 goes off, he can destroy the rest with Elysiana. So,
Right. Weapons project for Nalguidan. Stab over the French Caliber. Knows that this Augmented Elic and Clockwork Goblin combo not gonna likely to win the game, but it's definitely worth trying. Several bombs. About half of Race's deck are bombs, so we're likely to hit a few here. But Elysiana here is perfectly fine and acceptable in this spot. You can Shield Slam Elysiana and clear with the weapon. You'll be at 26, no more bombs left.
he has no armor.
Oh, you're right. He has no armor.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
So we could zap Elysiana and kill either of these minions.
This story deserves a new ending.
But let's see what's in the box.
Just needs to pick stuff to play, big stuff. Wrench Caliber. Even. He got Alexstrasza, Wrench Caliber, and Countess Ashmore.
Looks like he just went with Fen Creeper, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because it only shows up for a split second.
Yep,
We have
he's
a tiny little small window.
picking up defensive cards, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Shield Slam's still warranted. Super Collider, one of the better ones because it helps him deal with.
I don't know. EMP Operative is is also pretty funny.
That's true. I'm not killing the Augmented Elic. Not afraid.
Well, I think he just doesn't have any bombs left. Bomb activators yet.
As far as he knows.
Yeah.
It could be one that was discovered at the delivery drone.
There could be, that Boom Reaver could be a Clockwork Goblin. That's about it, though. Now he's just going to have to play this Boom Reaver to kill off the Elysiana and then hope that this hand's going to be enough. But as we said, still potential for Mechathune.
Yes, he is holding out for the Mega Chain possibility. Race can just clear it off. Ironforge Rifleman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rase try to be very cautious not to throw. I think that's one thing in the back of his mind is like, how could I possibly lose from this position? Because he knows how far ahead he is.
Yep.
And it's one of the scarier moments in Hearthstone because some overconfidence has definitely led to some very bad moments for myself.
Yep. I think Omega Devastator, Blast Shield, Wrench Override with Wrench Caliber, and then hit face.
Yeah, maybe.
Start shortening the
maybe
clock.
just Iron Forge rifle in face.
That's potential also.
Just want to put maximum pressure, but I guess because they have the microbots coming next to me.
Wrench Caliber, the swing will allow him to get some value out of Blastmaster Boom. He needs to shuffle a bomb and then play Blastmaster Boom the same turn.
Oh, I like
Bomb's going to be drawn right away.
Yeah, that's definitely a good.
Whether he swings or not, outcome's still the same. Because he can still swing for the second one. I guess this gives him an option for the second swing to go somewhere else. No delivery Jones still. This is all the minions that Nalguidan has left.
Oh,
well,
that's
wow.
one way to cut to the chase.
Okay.
Next turn, Rase could just Alex Raza and end the game. Forget like having the fatigue advantage. He might just win through damage and tempo. Curious enough that he didn't shield slam, but I guess he wanted to push in damage.
I think he wanted to try and put enough damage to face to where a shield slam would not kill his Blastmaster Boom.
That's fair. But there's a zap on the other side.
And the fatigue damage, so honestly, it wouldn't have killed it either way.
Right.
But this is the worst outcome because now it kills it with just the Dynamatic swing in. But unfortunately, Nalguidan's just out of stuff. And he doesn't even have time. Even if he takes a delivery drone this turn and gets Mechazune, Alex Raza plus a swing, that's an 8. That's a 23 damage turn from Rase. Accounting for the fatigue, that's a 26 damage turn.
Oh man, I really want to see EMP operative in action. She was ready to go.
Yep.
Locked in, finally, specialist to format. Not that it was teched in, it's just one of those funny things where it's a tech card that's not being utilized. Nalguidan take the bomb damage. He's gonna go ahead and discover nothing.
Yep. Nalguidan just seeing if Mechazune was in the box, seeing if he had a little bit more life to work with, if it would have made a difference, but unfortunately not. And as we had predicted based off their primary decks, Rase with the Arcanist Elysiana is going to take game number 1.
All right. So then the question becomes, how will their second and tertiary decks kick in here, TJ?
Whew. All right. Well, it's gonna get interesting. I'll tell you that. Rase has taken out some of his anti-aggro tools like Eternium Rover, Shield Blocks, and Acidic Swamp Oozes, and has put in Alex Straza, Grom Hellscream, Karen Bloodhoof, Augmented Elic, and Baleful Banker.
Wow.
So pure anti-warrior. That's his secondary. Now Nalguidan's tertiary deck. Timer.
All right, I'll be more diligent about tracking the turns. I was doing it in a few other games. I was like, these games aren't going to go down to turn timers.
Now
This one might.
It's not, since both players do have a little bit of an extra draw engine. Rase still has a Acolyte of Pain in his deck, and Nalguidan still has shield blocks. I think with one shuffle of Arcanist Elysiana, it's not guaranteed, but there's a potential for it. Now, I also mentioned that both players have chosen to put in just bigger stuff into their decks, with Rase just deciding to go for Grom, Karen, Alex Straza.
Just classic warrior, right? Playing like Karen for mid-game board presence, and then playing Grom, Alex Straza. All you need is like a Gore Howl and a charge to complete the old Control Warrior.
Oh my goodness, Dan. There's nothing that I like talking about more than old Control Warrior.
What about a new Control Warrior?
Nope. Old Control Warrior is where it's at.
Yeah, you had all these cards that you don't play in modern decks, like Shield Slam and Brawl, Execute.
Well, you don't really play Execute anymore.
And Shield Block.
So, for those of you who don't know, Dan and I have been casting Hearthstone together for about, 4 or 5 years.
Too long.
Too long, yes. We've been casting Hearthstone together too long. Now, we went our separate ways. Dan was paired with Kibler for a while, and I was paired with That's Admirable. We took a break. We took a break. But
You ever wish that you knew you were in the golden days before they were
in an office reference, that's my second favorite thing to talk about.
Yes.
But when I first started casting Hearthstone, the only deck I knew how to play and subsequently cast was Control Warrior. I was new to the game. Dan was like, who's this chucklehead that they're making me cast with who only plays Control Warrior and Arena and doesn't do anything else? So I've played every iteration of Control Warrior, thousands of games with every single one.
Fast forward to 4 years later, TJ still doesn't know how the Control Warrior endgame scenarios pan out.
I changed my specialty.
To?
I'm now a rogue expert.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Well, in the past 3 expansions, I played a lot of rogue. Quest rogue.
You and every other Hearthstone player on the planet.
Yes, I
become a rogue expert.
Well, back in the
Even
day,
Brian
people played
Kibler.
Control Warrior.
Even Brian Kibler's a rogue expert now. He loves playing Test Rogue. It's like his main.
Now,
bread and
Brian
butter.
Kibler was also a Quest rogue expert in a very weird way. He hated the deck so much that every scenario he watched stuck in his head out of passionate rage. So that's how he retained Quest rogue information. That's why he was a Quest rogue expert.
I remember. It was one of the first times where I thought Kibler was legitimately angry at something. And I was very scared. Shout out to Brian Kibler, by the way. He's actually just a few miles away from us at Universal Studios, apparently.
Wow.
Hanging out by himself.
Let's go get him.
He invited
Give
us
a
to
break.
He was like, "Hey, does you guys want to come hang out with me today at Universal?" Like, okay, we kind of have like this thing called Grandmasters, and then it got real awkward. Real awkward. We miss you, buddy. Back into this game. Nothing really too much happening. 2 bombs have been shuffled into Race's deck, though, so we've been keeping track.
I'm glad you were. I was reminiscing.
And now a bomb into Nalguidan's deck. So these early game bombs might play a factor, but it really doesn't feel like a big impact with the Arceus Elysiana, but it could. So right now, the positioning is about the potential. Plus, like we mentioned before, Elysiana is a full turn commitment, which means that you can set up a big board to push the damage afterwards, and then they work with whatever cards they have remaining, and they might be at low life total or might even be dead. I've seen some people like be too tunnel in on the Elysiana's interaction and slowly give up advantages, and then when they like use their brawls, for example, then you go in, and then they can't Elysiana because there's like 17 power.
Yeah.
That being said, if both players are tuned into that, they'll make sure not to utilize their removal until absolutely necessary. And then it becomes down to the usual stuff. Can you present enough threat with your Omega Assaults, or your Cairns in this case, or Dr. Boom Mad Genius?
All right, well, this is a fully loaded Blastmaster Boom. 6. Is there 4 bombs in Race's deck? 1 Swing of Excalibur, then 1 Swing of Excalibur with Augmented Elk. Did he play the Clockwork now?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so 4 bombs, and then 2 bombs in Nalguidan's deck for the 2 Swings of Excalibur. So that was a fully loaded Blastmaster Boom.
That's right.
If there was more board space, he would have summoned 2 extra boom bots.
It's kind of hard to imagine a world where like Hearthstone, like in other card games, sometimes you get like infinite board space.
Yeah.
Or
much larger board space than 7.
Sure. And it's like one of those things where imagine like Blastmaster Boom just filling up with like some absurd number, like 18 boom bots.
I think that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. It does feel kind of ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, Rase doesn't have a way to deal with this Blastmaster Boom efficiently, except for the brawl.
Oh,
and I think
4, 2.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's a lot of damage. And keep in mind,
big damage.
Race has 4 bombs in his deck.
Okay, I think this game might actually end up transitioning to just a tempo game from Nalguidan. Maybe instead he just plays things like, is Omega Devastator on curve again? Or maybe Militia Commanders. I mean, it's hard to say.
I think he was hoping for Ziliax to be able to magnetize on and push 4. But keep in mind also,
Like
that Warriors can stabilize reasonably well. Now, both these players have chosen to put more mid-range stuff in their deck, so the amount of removal they draw is a little bit less. The amount of minions that they draw that don't have an impact on the board is less. Like, Rase has a Grom right now, which isn't doing much onto the board. It does present a threat, but it doesn't even clear off the Omega Devastator, for instance, which means he takes 4 extra damage.
Yeah, this has to be in the back of the mind that Ray's probably thinking about this Militia Commander to snipe this 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And he needs to minimize his damage output, or damage intake.
And another thing to notice is Ray's 2 of the exclusions in switching to his secondary deck are double shield block. So he has less total armor gain. He only has 1 natural weapons project. So outside of his natural hero power, Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, and the Blast Shield, and the 1 weapons project, his armor gain is limited. So his ability to get his health back up after like post Blastmaster and Boom and these bombs that are shuffled in his deck, it is limited. So something to keep in mind. A lot of things to keep in mind. This matchup's going a lot faster than I expected it to.
Yeah, and I think don't forget the bombs being shuffled in.
Yeah.
I mean, Rase could die next turn hypothetically.
Yeah, 3 bombs in a row. All right, none drawn. So still 4.
I mean, it's unlikely. If there's 4 bombs out of 21, I think it's like it's a mind-blowingly low number or low percentage chance.
Because they have to happen in a row because 1 draw in that chain ruins the chain.
So it's 4 out of 21, and then 3 out of 20, and then 2 out of 20.
Yeah.
Or 2 out of 19 in that order.
Like for instance, even if your opponent has 5 cards left in deck, and 4 of them are bombs, it's still a low chance for you to get 4 bombs in a row, because the 1 card that's not a bomb, it has to be at the bottom of the deck for that to happen. So oftentimes going for the, I'm going to kill my opponent by having him draw 3 or more bombs in a row, it's not very likely no matter which way you slice it. Dan is crunching numbers over there.
I want to find out the exact chance of that.
Let's hear it.
I did it. Yeah, I don't want to bother it. Fractions, man. Fractions. It seems like less than a 1% chance for that happening. At least.
That's the safe out.
It seemed like such a small number that I'm afraid to say it on camera, because it seems that I think
I think it's right.
0.03% or less than that chance.
No, that sounds right. That sounds correct.
That sounds really ridiculous.
20 cards, and you have to do the 3 in a row.
Right. With only 4 hits, which gets increasingly smaller if you hit each one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you did the math wrong, but I'm also pretty sure that that's close to correct.
Right.
But I'm
Both
not
are like
100% sure of anything. So there you go.
I am 99% confident.
Did he?
You are a silly noob.
Did he draw a bomb? He did. No, that was Nalguidan's bomb. So he still has 4 left in his deck.
So Nalguidan.
No, he has 5 left. He has 5 in his deck now because of the C4 bomb.
That's right. 5 out of 20.
Ooh, Omega Devastator.
Yeah, Omega Devastator seems good. Vicious Scrap Hound is also like reasonable grounds because of the Ziliax combination if he was farther behind. In fact, that's like what Rase wants. Rase wants the Scrap Hound plus the Ziliax.
Yeah, it is very unlikely that if given the option for Omega Devastator, that you're not going to do it.
Hexlord Malacrass. Rase didn't really have that much good stuff in his mulligan.
He gets another Grom.
I feel like Rase is playing the Tavern Brawl where you get a random assortment of legendary minions and you just have to make do with whatever you can. Except he doesn't have the offensive players. He has 5 in there because there's a Karen and Malacrass.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legendaries. More than half of his hand is legendaries. Wow. Yeah, what was in his opening hand?
He had a Brawl, and I think because he played it really early on.
Yeah, the Grom obviously.
I can wait.
Dinomatic, I believe. Well, he's just going to present a big threat, but Nalguidan has the check with the Omega Devastator. Also, the 3 bombs in a row plan is still alive because he has the kaboom to put him down to that nice 15 crisp. All right, so what's the math on this? 5 bombs in the deck, needs to hit 3 in a row. Come on, Dan, you're the math guy.
I am really not.
By doing math once, you've become the math guy.
How many bombs in the deck? 5?
5 bombs. Needs 3 in a row.
Still less than 1%, 0.0. This is 0.01. I'm not sure if I did that. I don't know if this is a multiplier add. I need to go back and retake all of my math courses. And for reference, math was one of my last subjects I needed to graduate college.
Reactor core unlocked.
And I chose to enter into video games.
I finished all my math requirements.
I did not.
And I didn't finish everything else.
Clockwork Automaton, just for the body. But the Omega Devastator number 2. Rase, unhappy to say the least. And again, the game plan hasn't changed for either of these players. Rase needs to survive. Nalguidan putting in the pressure, and we're getting closer.
He's not drawing bombs. What the heck's happening?
It's unlikely. Sorry, to clarify, the
Well,
percentage chance of happening it earlier in the game was 0.003.
But right now it's a 25% chance
to draw 1.
To draw 1.
Right.
Unless, or more than a 25% chance. At this point, it's nearly a 30% chance to draw just 1.
Yeah, so it's less likely to happen. So part of the thing about probability, TJ, is when you start counting probability with each other, when you have to understand each event is independent and unbiased. It's not like you're unlikely to draw a bomb every single turn for like the next 5-6 turns.
Yes, but if we look at it holistically, having a 25 to 30% chance to draw a
in
bomb
that order,
over the course of 5 turns,
yes,
it is likely that he would have drawn a bomb at this point. It is likely.
Yes. As the turn progresses, it is likely that he draws a bomb. Oh wow, we got it exactly right. The Brawl, the Dynamatic, and the Grom. Let's go, TJ.
Yeah.
All right, more bombs.
Oh, Dynamatic.
I am down for the bomb plans. I'm also down to Ziliak's pressure here.
Light the fuses.
It's actually more guaranteed than the bombs, but you only put out 7 and your opponent's at 21. Oh, actually does. You do cross an important threshold of 15. I think I like it.
Yeah.
No, I like it, TJ.
Okay.
I don't want to put 7 damage on my opponent.
I don't know. I kind of like the Rose Caliber, actually.
I mean, same amount of damage and 7 damage either way. We just need 3 bombs or 6. What? There's a casual 6 out of 17 bombs. Still no draw. All right, let me start mathing out this. Rase, by the way, how does he deal with this 7/7? This is a very big problem.
50-50 brawl?
Well, he could throw in something to the mix here.
Yeah, but then he doesn't have anything to challenge the
right.
Dynamatic.
And then he also doesn't have Brawl anymore, which means Nalguidan is free to go very wide on the board, and Rase doesn't have an easy way to answer it without like things being conveniently within Warpath range.
All right, so what are the percentage chances? All
has
5 bombs are at the bottom of Raze's deck, and he can destroy them with Luciano.
All right, at least he got the big threat out of the way. But now Nalguidan has 3, 6, 9 damage. You could put him down to 7 life. Maybe even more if he finds extra damage. Oh yeah. Upstairs.
All right, 6 bombs in the deck.
7 bombs in the deck.
7 bombs in the deck?
If he swings with the Wrench Caliber.
I thought it was 6 with the Wrench Caliber.
Didn't he add Augmented Elec Shuffle an extra one way back?
Yes,
then?
but I counted that one.
Okay.
So I think with the Wrench Caliber swing, it's 6. Because he played 1 Clockwork Goblin, 1 Sephorium Bomber, 2 Wrench Caliber swings, 1 which was augmented,
Okay.
and then this Wrench Caliber swing.
Okay, you're right, 6. So 6. Oh, he's not going to go for it.
It
doesn't draw a bomb.
It doesn't change the breakpoints because by swinging the Wrench Caliber, it's still 2 bombs to win. And he doesn't want to make himself vulnerable to...
Well, it increases the chance that a bomb gets drawn. But
it does. That's true.
Here's the thing, too. Rase is getting closer to the point where maybe he doesn't play any cards and just overdraws his bombs, but he doesn't have the luxury of doing that when there's pressure on the board. Wow, Dynamatic Kaboom here works out really nice. But not enough mana. Rase would survive with 1 HP. No bomb! What is happening?
All right, so there's still 5. So 5 out of his 14 cards are bombs. And Nalguidan's shaking his head now, too.
The thing is, Rase can't punish either. He doesn't have a Mega Assembly. That is the key to doing it. If he was able to remove this and then play a Mega Assembly, he'd be good to go. Unfortunately, he does not.
Okay, so when do you say it's time to play Elysiana?
I'm pretty close to now, but
because
he still can wait. He can still like
almost half of his deck is bombs.
He can still Weapons Project and Shield Slam. If his opponent Wrench Calibers, then he Elysianas. I think that's the line here.
Okay. And you play Cairn here to try and have something on the board if that's the case to guarantee you have tempo.
I like that
on the Elysiana.
Yes,
you forgo the armor up, but I think it's fine.
Yeah. One thing you don't want to do is play Harrison Jones here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like the Cairn. Okay.
I like it. I like where your head's at, Teach. And Nalguidan. Okay, so this gives him contingency plan. Like, he can just play for the value, but he can still also go for the damage. But there's 6 out of 15.
5. He never swung with the Wrench Caliber. That was the theoretical bomb. So 5 out of 14 cards.
Right
bombs.
now.
Right now, 5 out of 14 cards.
Right. So if he swings with Wrench Caliber,
it'll be 6 out of 15.
Right. So I'm trying to say 6.
There's also potential he could get a Clockwork Goblin from this Omega Assembly. Nope. Dynamatic though.
But Dynamatic does clear the care.
Light the fuses!
Not the Bane.
Not the Bane.
It does though, actually, because he has Dr. Boom Mad Genius, so he can rush it in.
Right.
So now Race's plan of saying I can just try and buy tempo with Cairn and then play Elysiana, that's no longer a possibility.
Oh, interesting. Choosing not to keep a minion on the board here. Wants to maximize the damage. Bomb number 1!
And that's it.
It's still scary, though, because if you Elysiana, you're still working at, what, 9 life?
You're at 9 life, your opponent, so you're effectively at 6.
Right.
So,
or even, like, less if you choose the Baleful Banker to shuffle the Elysiana in. This is what we're talking about. Elysiana is great for the late game scenarios, but you also might be working with not a lot of life, which means you're just danger of like Nalguidan could just swing with the Wrench Caliber like twice with like the hero powers. He might just die to weapon pressure, and there's not much he can do about it if he doesn't play Harrison Jones.
Yeah, and we talked about the sacrifices that Ray's made to make his deck more greedy and more mid-rangey. It's armor game. Got rid of the shield blocks. The weapons project was placed. That was the only weapons project. So his armor gain is limited to his armor up, hero power, and drawing Dr. Boom. So I don't know what this play does. He's drawing his bombs right away. I guess he doesn't have that many cards.
Yeah, Rase just keeps drawing the bombs immediately.
All right. So 4 bombs in the deck for Rase. If Nalguidan were to go for the Kaboom hero power, augmented Alec plus Wrench Caliber, he'd have 6 out of 14. And there he would be at 5 health. So it would be nearly a 50-50 chance to win, but he's not going for it.
If only it was that simple.
But it is that simple. That's how simple it was.
Well, I mean, if he whiffs, he gives development back to his opponent. Oh, the bomb! Now he can't Elysiana. Oh, God.
All this math for nothing.
Look, the math was not even anywhere close to being.
Yeah, but Nalguidan.
The idea is to emphasize the low probability.
There's one number I know very well, Dan. That's 50-50.
The number I live and die by every day. He has to Dynamatic this, and then Hero Power. And then...
Light the fuses!
He's alive by 1 HP, from what we can tell. Wrench Caliber hits for 3.
So there's 3 bombs currently. Augmented Elic Wrench Caliber means 5 out of 12.
Yeah.
So still roughly 50-50.
Yeah, a little cut under it, like 45%.
Yeah. I mean, you put him at 1. He has no armor gain left. You have a Wrench Caliber lined up. Even if he Archivist Elysiana the next turn, if you don't draw a bomb and then armors up, you still just have lethal with the Wrench Caliber. He can't Harrison because then he draws even closer to a bomb. Just do it.
It actually makes sense. If you Wrench Caliber and hit the face, your opponent Elysiana's, you just have the lethal right there. But if they Harrison Jones, I think that's what he's afraid of.
But then he has a bigger chance of drawing a bomb.
Well, this also makes sense. This is the same thing too. If they play Elysiana, he just wins.
Yeah.
And also, you can just win on the next draw. 3 out of 10. No.
All right.
Wow.
So this is, I think, where he's going to feel like he has to Elysiana and hope there's no damage because he'd be alive by 1.
Yes, I think Elysiana is his best options at this point, but I think, you know, the Dr. Boom tempo just a little bit too much, and also the pressure from Nalguidan that he was able to amass because of that Blastmaster Boom starting to put things into motion.
That belongs in a museum.
Playing with fire again.
Well, at this point, he's going for the Hail Mary, and Nalguidan's got the damage with the Wrench Caliber. That's going to end this game, and we're going to game number 3. Definitely not panning out the way Rase wanted it to.
No, just way too much pressure from Nalguidan every step of the way, and the sacrifices that Rase made with his deck forced him to a position where his hand was just full of all these mid-range minions. Finals at the end of the year on the line, so you have to make sure that your record stays consistent across the season, and also the bottom 2 players, not for the first season, but looking forward to season 2, the bottom 2 players have that chance to be relegated unless they can defend their spot in the Masters Tour event. So it is important to start off well if you want a chance of competing at the global finals. And for Rase, this matchup against Nalguidan is actually a pretty big deal because if he goes up 1-0 in match score in Grandmasters, he's facing off against ETC later in the week, who is the only player in Americas to bring Rogue, which is for sure a deck that Rase was targeting coming into this week. So he's likely to take that 2-0 victory if he starts off with the win. So if Rase is able to take this victory, then he's looking good for a 2-0 start in Grandmasters and looking forward to being at the top of the standings going into those Season 1 playoffs.
So Nalguidan back at the drawing board here.
Yep.
Seems like we're just going to have a wash of the second attempt here for both these players on their respective adaptations for their specialist decks.
Yep, both these players have chosen to bring the same decks, and keep in mind in Specialist, while you're forced to play your primary deck in Game 1, in Games 2 and potentially Game 3, if there is one, you can play any of your decks. You can play primary, secondary, or tertiary, and you're not forced to tell your opponent which one you're playing. Now, not super relevant for this week since all the players with Bombware have built their decks pretty one-dimensionally. They have a primary deck, a secondary deck which targets warriors, and a tertiary deck which targets mages. That's basically the gist of everything that's been happening. But in the future, that could be a very interesting dynamic with mind games. And but in this game, both players have chosen to go with the AC Warriors secondary deck.
I just want more bombs.
Well, this is a big potential for more bombs. He's got Sephorian Bomber and an Augmented Elic.
Both players do.
So that's how many? Just 1?
It's 2 bombs shuffled into Race's deck, 1 bomb shuffled into Nalguidan's deck. Nalguidan Race has the opportunity to augment Elic, hit the Town Crier, shuffle 2 more bombs into Nalguidan's deck. He does have the opportunity to also swing with the Wrench Caliber and then play Weapons Project to shut down the opportunity for Nalguidan to do the same exact thing right back to him. And now Rase is behind enough in the life total where he actually has to weigh this decision. It's not just like a play the curve and the biggest green minion he has. He has to think about this, you know, where's his role? Is he on the position where he can be aggressive in the next couple of turns, or is he going to be the one playing defensive?
Honestly, it feels like he has more aggressive cards. He's got all the bomb package minus 1 C4M armor, as Nalguidan has. And he also has Grom and Alex Strabo. So by all accounts, it feels like Rase should be the aggressor in this matchup. But it seems like Nalguidan is just getting the ball rolling. Nalguidan is just drawing his bombs like instantly.
I don't know how he keeps doing that. He just keeps drawing the bombs the moment that Rase shuffles into his deck. Versus Nalguidan seems to shuffle it to the bottom of Rase's deck. Bomb number 3.
So now Nalguidan has 1.
Has 1 in the deck. Rase has 3.
And that's a big deal for Rase also because he was hoping to get Blastmaster Boom online on turn 7. But now it's just 2 Boom bots. Now it's just Dr. Boom, not Blastmaster Boom.
I wonder.
Yeah, the best way to take this down is just that Ziliax, but we all know that Ziliax can be much more impactful. That being said, I also kind of realized Rase has the Blastmaster Boom in hand. So he needs to be setting his up for the best possible tempo turn there, but I mean, there's not much going on right now.
You don't really have an option. Like, sometimes you're like, okay, I can play all my bomb cards on turn 6.
Right.
Set it up on turn 7. Most of the time, it's just like, oh, I play my bomb cards on curve and then hope that my opponent doesn't draw every single one of them. All right, but now we're back at kind of even keel. Neither player has too much pressure going on. Rase at a pretty healthy life total. I think we're cruising.
Done.
Yep. Relatively even life totals, like you're talking about.
We are cruising.
The thing is, Rase doesn't have a good turn here, and he's giving Nalguidan an opportunity to develop again. Oh, that's funny. Another Wrench Caliber here from Rase.
I mean, honestly, going into next turn, getting more bombs out seems pretty good.
I think so. But then, is he just doing nothing this turn?
No, you're Wrench Caliber and swinging.
What now?
What about swing and then Wrench Caliber? Is that too risky? Because he has Harrison in
Yeah, Harrison, yeah. Plus, he also does Nalguidan. Nalguidan cut his only weapons project in this. This is his tertiary deck. He cut from his primary deck Double Attorney Rover, Warpath, Weapons Project, Acolyte of Pain. So he does not have any weapon destruction outside of Harrison.
Fair enough.
Cash in.
Three bombs in the deck, but one has exploded, so Dr. Boom, Blastmaster Boom would only summon 4 boom bots. And Nalguidan having more reactive cards. Mega Devastator for tempo.
Nalguidan's made that play a lot. He knows his role. He has a game plan.
Yep.
I respect it.
Rase has the opportunity to swing in and get the 6 boom bots. Nalguidan so distraught from having to play Omega Devastator as a 4/5 that he has pieced out. Or more likely, his food got delivered. I know that feel. Look, I'll tip extra if they come up. If you don't make me go curbside.
Just leave the door ajar. Have them come all the way to your desk.
Right now, the way the apps have it is that you can tip beforehand, but you have to get the service that you want to tip first. Because then you can tip more after.
So what's the meta there?
Right now, a lot of drivers eat your food because the meta is that there's so much traffic in LA that you get hungry. Lunch becomes dinner by the time food gets delivered.
You should come live with me in the Inland Empire, Dan. The glory land, that's what it is.
I think I'd rather die hungry.
It's not that bad. It's great out there. It's great if you have great for families.
I agree. I think it's great for families. I'm not a family man. 4 bombs in Nalguidan's deck. Rase has the opportunity to drop that Blastmaster Boom next turn. Nalguidan only can play reactive. This Dynomatic. Oh, bomb actually explodes. This Dynomatic actually ends up being something that Nalguidan might need next turn, because if Blastmaster Boom came down, Nalguidan could have played the Dynomatic after to get a little bit more damage on it, with the Militia Commander being at 2 health. So this ends up being a slight punish for Nalguidan. Now he has to trade both. Now instead of having a 3/4, he has nothing by trading into it. Stressful, to say the least.
So brawl.
I wonder.
Yeah, there's a brawl in the Militia Commander.
Wants to make sure that if Blastmaster Boom lives, that he can still kill it off.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 9, 11 damage. All the armor that Nalguidan had worked for this entire game went kaput. Another bomb.
Wow, okay. So only 1 left.
What if you just Alex your opponent here?
Ooh. Dan, I like where you're going with this one.
Yeah,
Not
now
much
it's
of an
even.
option, to be honest.
Now it's very even.
And honestly, Rase has the advantage because there's more bombs in Nalguidan's deck. I believe you
right.
have 4 bombs.
Yes. Turnium Rover, Copper Tip. Ah, this is pretty weak stuff.
Yeah. And actually, right now, these mechs don't have Rush.
You are right.
So he doesn't even have a way to kill Alex Straza.
Oh, that's bad.
That's really bad.
I mean, it's like the Omega Devastator. It's like it's a lot of small, little incremental advantages that Rase has been able to build up from that mid game, and Nalguidan not being conservative with resources, right? Because he chose to play aggressively on the board.
Yeah.
And then Rase was able to not only turn the tide, but get damage back, and now Nalguidan wishes he had that Omega Devastator for 10 damage Battlecry.
Yeah. And Rase does have a way to push 8 here with Alex Straza, plus clear up the board with Warpath, but I think he wants to see what... actually, so if he goes for that, he has to Warpath 4 times.
Yeah.
And if he plays a Mega Assembly first to try and see what's in the Discovers, then he does an armor up. And he's at 13 with an Alex Straza on board, so it's not the biggest of deal. But it is something to think about when you're going through these motions of trying to find the most optimal turn. And it looks like he is going to go with the armor up instead of the Omega Cell. And clocking for 8.
Yeah, Omega Assembly wouldn't give him anything that he could play right now that he'd want to. He could get, like, Faithful Lumi or, you know, a Determined Rover, but that's not what he needs. So rather than just do that, he'd be more mana efficient. Nalguidan gets the ability to clear with Militia Commander. Get armor up to 11, plays Eternium Rover. It's starting to get a little exciting here.
Yeah, when neither player has Dr. Boom Mad Genius, it gets a little more interesting, and a Clockwork Goblin picked up.
That's also not that good. What is happening? These Omega Assemblies are garbage.
Explodinator is okay. When you're the aggressor and your opponent's at 11 health.
Okay, it's a different kind of bomb.
Explodinator plus Clockwork Goblin, that would mean 5 bombs in his opponent's deck, plus 4 extra damage banked on the board. And honestly, those bombs are a little bit more threatening because you just saw Omega Assembly, which means that Magnetic is a possibility.
Cairn, decent sized draw. Nalguidan, is he going to shield slam a Clockwork Goblin here?
You are not fit to rule the board.
Wow, it's been a hot minute since I heard that interaction. Talk about classic WoW. That was an opportunity for you to step in because I know you love WoW.
Don't get me started.
Omega Assembly, there we go.
Another Clockwork Goblin.
Another bomb.
What?
So if he trades into the Eternium Rover, play Clockwork Goblin, Nalguidan has 5 bombs in his deck.
He would have
and
6 bombs in his deck.
6 bombs in his deck. And 18 cards.
What now?
So what you do is you multiply 6 by 5 by 4 over 18, 17, 16.
Yep.
I'm
helping. Yep.
6.
That's right.
It's 0.0. It's 0.025% chance. It's still not going to happen, likely in that scenario, but it's still a possibility.
Let the pain speak to me.
Put him to 10. There's the break point. 2 bombs. No bombs. My level of potential excitement so far today has been a roller coaster.
He's drawing cards, but they need to get the Ziliax. That's a big pickup here for Nalguidan to gain some life. Actually, the probability was much higher because I realized that now Rase got him to 10, not 15. Apologies there.
So we needed 2 bombs in a row.
Yes. It's a much higher percent.
Okay, now what?
Now I think we want to at least oh, actually, I don't know. I think I want to push damage.
There's only 1 bomb in Race's deck.
You don't win unless your opponent's at 0 life, TJ.
These are
yes. I like this play.
Good old-fashioned minion combat, Dan.
Warpath's already been used as well.
I love it.
Oh man, but if Rase finds a way to clear this board, like let's say he has another brawl opportunity here, he can deal 4 damage and clear everything. Acolyte.
Yeah. He has the Boom Reaver, which doesn't have Rush, but whatever it summons has Rush.
Well, good thing he drew the Acolyte this turn if he was going to play Boom Reaver.
So he can try and go for a minion from his deck that has Rush that can kill the Eternium Rover, which is not much, to be honest with you. Harrison Jones? Has he played a Harrison Jones? That's it. That's the only thing. Everything else heals him for a lot.
Yeah.
What else can he do?
Now?
Nothing. That's pretty much it. He could try and draw with Acolyte Appeal.
Here we go.
Oh,
the Harrison
no
Jones.
way!
Not what Nalguidan wanted, but he
No
still gains a decent
way.
amount of life.
That's the only card in his deck that kills it. Because not even Militia Commander does, because it doesn't get the Battle Cry.
You're right.
So it'd only be a 2/5.
Yeah, it means that Nalguidan gets a lot less life. 4 damage on the board.
It's like where this is the exact situation he was in the last game, but on the other side, where his deck just refused to spit out bombs.
Nalguidan going for the Warpath. Goes down. If he gets 1 extra damage, he takes 2 extra. If he squeezes 1 damage, he's trading 1 for 2. And he goes down to 16. I think he doesn't want that. The 1 life difference can make a small edge case scenario if Nalguidan's able to get 3 bombs in a row for Rase, but Rase only has 1 bomb in his deck.
Yeah. Does have augmented health.
I mean, if anything, Nalguidan might be looking for an opportunity to drop his Elysiana because he needs to get the bombs out of his deck.
Yeah, but then the game plan completely changes for Race, because then he just...
Hey!
Oh! There it is!
Better late than never. That is bad news for Nalguidan. Rase able to get not only the hero power and the battle cry, but also just the life gain is really big. Nalguidan is struggling here. Omega Assembly.
Still no bomb. Oh.
What?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, it needs like Eternium Rover. Scarebot actually isn't that bad if he didn't if he had anything else good to pair with it. Nalguidan fighting for any semblance of board presence and tempo. But the Omega assemblies this game in the past couple games have been pretty bad, to say the least. Right? Rase takes the last bomb damage here.
Yep. And he kind of laughs to himself. Because he has 6 bombs in Nalguidan's deck, but somehow he's managed to draw through only the 3 that he had in his.
He's very far ahead, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rase can go for this Kaboom, eliminate the Kaboom bot, so just take the death rattle damage.
And now, all of a sudden, his mechs magically have the ability of rush. Now, this one had rush anyway.
Yeah.
The one that's in his hand, but point still stands.
Let the pain speak to me.
And just spit it all out.
Yeah, Ray's taking a lot of time to think about if he wants to commit a little bit more onto the board, but I think you can get away with it because you still have Bulldozer, you still have Braum. Nalguidan needs his Dr. Boom right now to have a chance in this game. It's Caliber.
Where are the bombs?
Well, TJ, it's unlikely that he's going to draw a bomb still.
Yeah, but 5 turns in a row.
Yeah.
Of unlikely.
I mean, that's not very likely to happen.
It is a basic rule of statistics
What now?
that if you get unlucky 5 times, on the 6th time you'll get lucky.
Oh, wow. Look at this plan from Nalguidan.
This is... Okay, all right.
I mean, there's a chance.
There's not a chance. He can't win. There's only 2 bombs.
No, sorry, chance to win in the next couple turns.
Oh, in the next couple turns, yes. Not this turn. He put him at 15, but I believe there was no bombs in the deck. But that's right. There's only 2 now.
Well, Rase could always just Elysiana in this position as well if he feels like he's gonna die.
True, but he won't. I mean, at this point, I think he can just Grom.
This would be a good time.
There's no way for him to gain life, so he might as well. Actually, does he have a Ziliax left? For the Town Crier. I think he has Ziliax and Militia Commander. But Grom presents the biggest threat. He pushes 5. 16, there's no breakpoint there, but there's no way for him to get an additional breakpoint unless he goes Grom to face, which he leaves the Augmented Elec up. Wait. Okay, there is a way for him to get a breakpoint. If he Groms face and the 2/1 face, and then zaps and trades in his Acolyte face into the 3/4, he deals 6 damage, which puts him down to 15. This does the same thing.
He's saving Grom in case he picks up an opportunity to activate Grom for a finisher.
Well, he also could have Grom and zapped his Grom and pushed 13.
Right. Bomb taking a damage. Now you're done. Another bomb.
Oh, Dan, it's happening. Nope, it's not happening.
TJ, it almost happened.
Oh, God.
And now Nalguidan has to go for 3 bombs in a row out of 12.
I am titillated. This is what I live for. Three bombs in the deck, 12 cards in the deck.
It happens.
It is
0.0045% of the time, TJ.
He's going to increase the chance.
Oh, I like that. This is cool.
Oh,
it happens a lot more than that.
Oh,
no bombs.
3 in a row.
Oh, man. I gotta say, though, that was definitely exciting.
That was exciting.
He drew 4 cards, and none of them were bombs.
Yeah.
He needs to also hit 3 in a row.
Yeah. You know how at the end of a